YouTube, and welcome to the Gunpla Network review of the Gunprimer Raser Nubmark removal set. Now, Gunprimer was kind enough to send us this set for me to review, as well as a couple of sheets of their joint protection stickers. You can see there. And you'll notice one is missing. That's the test one we'll look at in a minute. Now, before we get to any of that, the real reason we're here is this bad boy, and this is such a beautifully boxed set. I don't really usually care for boxes. I don't keep them. I'm not really sentimental about them, but this is a gorgeous box, and I will probably keep these in it because it's so well formed to what's in there. Now, this is going to come with 3 separate components: the Raser glass file itself, the balancer, which is a foam buffer type of tool, and then the recovery cloth. I'll explain more of those in detail in a minute and actually give you a tutorial. But I've had this set for about 2 weeks now, and I wanted to build at least a couple of kits and get them under my belt so I could really tell you guys what this is, how to use it, and why it's worth buying, because it is a fairly expensive set. It's about $45, I believe, without counting shipping costs. And I'd have to say, it's expensive, but I would justify this more so than like airbrushing equipment or anything like that. Even if you're good with using something like an X-Acto knife or a blade or metal files, they just don't run the same in terms of consistency that this set will give you. And what I've built is just a couple of high grades, really basic, but I wanted another perspective on this. So I had a build day with a friend who's fairly new to Gunpla. He's only built about 5 kits, a couple real grades here and there, and he was building the real grade Exia, and I wanted him to try this just to give me his thoughts. And we both came to a similar conclusion that this is going to add a fair amount of time to your build, just because you're adding at least 2 extra steps if you use the full set, but it is so much more consistent in just the littlest of ways. And you'll be seeing some photos here of my friend's real grade Exia legs. He's kind enough to take some really nice photos for me. Really appreciate that. And they're just so nice. Anyway, back to the set itself. This bad boy, break the Raser out first because that's what we're here to see. Let me go ahead and get that to focus here. There we go. And as you can see, it's a very nicely detailed Raser. I mean, it's really nice. There's the file side. It's a nice glass file. It's really small, it's compact, it's easy to use. You'll get to see it in action here in a couple minutes. But it's very easy to control. It's very easy to get in spots where you need it to. And it's not near as rough as a metal file, so you don't have to worry as much about damaging any of your Gunpla. Now, the balancer is a little hard to get out because it's in there. There we go. And it's kind of gotten a little squish from me trying to get it out so many times. Come on. There we go. And the cool thing about this is this will actually leave finishes. This is your matte finish side, the bottom here. It's not going to be like a top coat or anything of that nature, but it does kind of add a pseudo matte finish. The black here is a semi-gloss, and the balancer top here is a high gloss, and we'll look at those more in a second. I'm not going to put that all the way in there because it's hard to get out. And lastly, we have the recovery cloth. We have the recovery cloth, which is used to bring the plastic back to its original state. So if you've used the buffer and you don't want the finish, you can go ahead and use something like this to fix it. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at these in action. So here in front of us we have the, I don't even know, the B plate from the Seagoo from Gundam Seed. It's an older high grade, even with any kind of remasters or anything of that nature, and I want to show you the full rundown of this set on one of these pieces so you get the full effect on how to use it. Not only is this a really nicely put together set, but it also works very well. So let's go ahead and grab, like, the back piece will be a good one. We'll go ahead and nip that. Let's go ahead and get that there. Get our piece. Put that back there. And let's go ahead and bring it on in so we can focus in on the piece we're working with. There we go. So let's go ahead and take a look. There's the nub right there. So we're going to go ahead and grab the Raser. And voila. A little bit more, but once again, buffer is going to make a lot of difference there. And we got this last part. What I want to do is, instead of using the Raser, I want to show you the difference between using a blade, which is what I'm accustomed to, so you can see that there's a consistency to it that even a blade's not going to get you. And as you can see, I've got a little nick there. And that is one of the, even if you're really good with blades, and I'm not the best, but I'm not terrible, you run the risk of that happening. Now, we're going to use each different side here for each different side so you get an idea. Now this is the side with the blade side. And you can see it is more matte than the original plastic. We're going to use the semi-gloss side on the bottom here. You can still see it a little bit. I'll have to go back and file it down some more, but you can see a little bit of a semi-gloss there. And the top's going to be your gloss. And you can see it's a little bit shinier there. Lighting makes it a little hard to see, but there it is. Now, in case you don't want any of those finishes, and actually you can kind of tell the matte there from the high gloss, light hits it right, much shinier. But we take this recover cloth and we get the plastic right back to where it was originally. And bam. Bam. Look at that. Bam. Look at that. Pretty solid, really nice, really solid kit. Now, I built a couple of kits with this already, and I went about 50-50. One of them was the GM Custom here. Now, there are a couple of parts that I went a little too deep on, and one of them is right here under the arm conveniently. And you can see my hand's not the steadiest, so I did put a pretty big gash in both of these. Now, that is something you don't see on the inner leg here. Let me get it to focus. There we go. It's a much smoother, much cleaner. And it's because the legs, I, for the most part, use the Raser. For the upper part, I use the blade. So, you have at least an idea there. Now, this is something that, like I said, it's about $45, so it's a little pricey, but I once again would think this would be something for the person who's wanting to get better at building versus wanting to get really quick speed builds done, or who doesn't really care all that much or is wanting to focus on painting. And honestly, if you're really wanting to focus on painting, I'd say getting your kits really flush and consistent is more important first anyway. But that's just me. This set is phenomenal, and I cannot thank Gunprimer enough for sending it to us. Spectacular. This is going to be my new means of doing this. It is going to take longer to build kits, but I'm okay with that, as opposed to a blade. blades are nice, but still not the most consistent, so I don't want to mess with that. So I told you we were going to look at the stickers, and this is where the one sticker went, right up here. The reason I wanted to do this is probably the floppiest kit I have, and the stickers seem to be mostly meant for high grades and things of that nature. I've heard iffy things on master grades, but it's neither here nor there. But the Kshatriya has the loosest joint up here, and if I stand it up, it's going to fall down and it's going to make a terrible noise just like that, so I'm not going to do it. But I've put this sticker on here, I've actually got it applied, and we're about to do a live test because I've not actually done this yet. I'll take just this whole peg right here and jam it right on there, and hopefully the sticker doesn't move. And those are textured stickers. Oh, okay, so that's a little nicer. So let's go ahead and try to stand it up. All right, we got that. Oh, it's front heavy now. So this one used to be really floppy, and of course now that I say that, none of them want to be. Oh, there we go, see. Yeah, but this one took the shock of all the rest of them and hasn't moved. If you slap it a little bit, it's going to come down, but it's much better than it was, surprisingly. I'm not really sure. It doesn't twist as much either, which I guess makes sense for where the sticker is, but that's really intriguing, huh? But yeah, a couple of these little stickers go a long way. So if you've got a bunch of kits that are loose that you're kind of bummed about, these stickers are a great alternative. I'm not exactly sure the price point. They didn't really originally intend to send these to us, or at least I wasn't aware. So these are just extra little options. You can use them for wrists, just random armor pieces, different pegs. You can use them on the head, I guess, to keep it together or just add texture. But you get a big variety of different sizes, and they're really cool. I'm actually really excited they sent me. Anyway, this has been the set. If you have any questions, absolutely do let me know down in the comments below. You can also hit us up on Facebook and Instagram, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions over there as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it, and y'all keep on building.